Welcome to Meet the Mailers. I'm Paul Bobnack for Who's Mailing What, and today I'm talking with Brianne Baggetta. She is the president and the CEO of the Mailworks located in Albany, New York. Before we get started, if you'd like to add to our conversation or ask a question, please do so. Comment in the box below. Show your support for our channel by tapping the like button. And to get notified of when we add new videos, click on subscribe. Now let's meet today's guest. Hi, Bree. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't we get started by talking about your background? I was going through the website and reading all about, the company. And I understand your mom started the Mailworks. Was that how you got involved with direct mail?
That is. My mom started the Mailworks in 1984. It's kind of a funny story. She wanted to make $100 a week so that she didn't have to go to my dad to support her. So, and at that point in time, everybody was sending newsletters with labels and peel and sticks. And she thought, well, I could do that too. I could do that from my living room while I take care of my baby, which was me at the time. And she went out, boots on the ground, and went into a couple local businesses and asked if, they had this type of work and needed somebody to do it. And she got herself a couple of accounts and established the company from there. And she retired in 2012, but she made a lifetime career out of it. And yes, that is how I got involved.
And that was basically the beginning of the whole business.
Yeah, growing up, it was like a third child in our family. The company was everything to us, and I grew up in the business. I've worked in every department in the company over that time, and really have what's great about that in any family business, right, is that you have the opportunity to understand a business from a really hands-on perspective.
Mm-hmm. Right, from every department and every job function and job title.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really pretty cool. So what are you tasked with today at the Mailworks, like on a daily basis in your position?
Well, at this point, I'm really more in a leadership role. And in my position, I work on, trying to set the vision for the company, where we're going into the future, and then also overseeing the overall operations, making sure that the departments are working together and that we're able to serve the needs of our clients.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's continue by talking a bit about the Mailworks. Overall, what types of services does the company offer to marketers?
So the Mailworks is a one-stop shop, essentially for anybody looking to do a direct mail campaign. We handle everything from the copywriting to the graphic design to then the actual overall execution of the production. That's not to say that every client works with us in that capacity. We do work with many marketing teams who provide their own data, who provide their own creative, and they're looking for us to either partner in getting it produced. So we really look at what are the needs of our clients and how can we tailor our services to suit them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's basically just like one stop for the entire process?
Yes, and really one thing that makes the Mailworks unique, in my opinion, is that we're working with mailers nationwide that are looking to hit targeted in-home windows,
Okay.
right? So they have direct mail that maybe is promoting an event or an offer, and they need to reliably have a system to say, I want it in homes on this day. So in homes on October 26th, for instance.
Right.
We work backwards from that point, from the in-home date, and manage their deadline schedule so that we can get the mail into the mailboxes at that determined time. So all the support that it takes to execute campaigns on that level is what we specialize in.
Okay, so wow, that's pretty cool because it saves companies a lot of trouble of going through multiple vendors for their campaigns.
Yeah, it's also having that reliability and that predictability. A lot of times when somebody's using direct mail, the urgency of the offer is going to determine how successful it can be, and making sure that you get it into that mailbox at the right time, right? You don't want to get it in too early.
No.
You want to get it in late. You got to get it in there when you scheduled it. And the system that we put in place really helps people reach that goal.
Okay, well, that certainly makes sense. Again, going through the Mailworks website, and I understand it's been like recently really redesigned and revamped, is the different ways that the company sets itself apart, some of which you already talked about. But can you talk about some of the other aspects like pricing and customer service, and how that really distinguishes the company from the other competitors out there?
So when I first came into the company, the Mailworks was still a letter shop, right? We didn't do any printing in-house. All of our printing came from commercial offset printers, and then we handled the variable data services, right? The addressing and the sorting to get the postage discounts and get it in the mail. It was in 2008 that we installed our first digital printing press.
Okay.
And we were now in the business of putting color on paper.
Right. Love it.
But what was unique is that we had never done this before. So the traditional pricing model of offset printing, right, where the more you print, the lower cost per piece you get, that didn't make sense to us, right? We, as a letter shop, we had always priced our services per piece, right? Because we didn't have the startup cost of firing up an offset press. So when we got into printing, we approached it the same way. So what the result of that is, and what makes us different for our customers, is that we offer a static price per piece, right? So when we tell you, these are the product types we offer, which we have over 70 of them.
Wow.
And these, you can take this piece of white paper and you can put any color design on it. And it doesn't matter if you mail 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, this is the price per piece. And what that's done for our clients is it's allowed them to mail smarter, right? Because if they're mailing, they look at their overall direct mail program, and let's say they have a high quantity, let's say they're a large volume mailer, they're used to traditionally having to lump all of that order into one product type so that they can get the lowest cost per piece. When you work with the Mailworks, you can break that up into multiple different product types and it doesn't change the per piece cost. So it actually incentivizes you to mail smarter and to use different creatives and different messages. With it, everything that we do is white paper in, full color variable out. So you have that flexibility within that pricing structure.
Okay, well, I want to get a little more granular and talk about the four main industries that you serve: hearing health, real estate, dental and orthodontic, and automotive. What kinds of mail do you do for those different types of companies?
Well, I think if you look at those industries, what they all share in common is that they're using direct mail in most cases to try to attract new clients, right? They're trying to grow their business, and direct mail is a proven tactic in any industry. Well, depending on what your product type value is, but it tends to work well in those industries. And if you look at the different types of creatives that we support them with, there's always similarities, right? You've got an offer, you have an event, you're trying to get somebody to raise their hand and come in to get more information.
So along those lines, let's focus on one of these verticals, which is real estate. Big user of direct mail, right?
Yeah, I think, real estate agents have a tremendous opportunity if they commit to a direct mail strategy.
Okay.
There's in real estate, they use that term farming a lot, right? You're going to pick a neighborhood, pick an area, and you're going to farm it. You're going to just keep planting your seeds with your branding. Direct mail is a foundation for a program like that, right? And I think that the realtors that we see that are the most successful are the ones that commit and see a plan through. You have to keep hitting people repetitively. It's like a billboard, but it's in somebody's mailbox and in their hands.
So besides the continual contact, drip campaign, basically again the farm metaphor, what are some other good ways for realtors and agencies to drive business? Maybe something with their formats?
I mean, the consistency, I think, is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, and looking at their footprint
Mm-hmm.
and the people that they want to target and saying, okay, I would rather see a realtor mail a smaller group of people and mail them more frequently than mail a larger group of people infrequently. So that would be my first suggestion for a realtor. And otherwise with formats, I think if you're in that frequency of mailing them, don't stick to the same piece every time. Don't keep sending a postcard. Work in a self-mailer, work in a letter. Each opportunity, keeping the branding the same. However, it's a different, each different format presents a different experience for the recipient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I've noticed with Who's Mailing What in our tracking of direct mail campaigns is we see like a lot of different ideas that are thrown out there by real estate agents and agencies, in this vertical, and they're like everything from mini calendars or recipes, all kinds of really interesting ideas.
We have a catalog for real estate agents that they can pick from.
Oh, okay.
Mail pieces they want to do. And one of my favorite ones is it's a spring cleanup guide for somebody, right? And it recommends all of these different colors that you could paint your front door to increase home value, right? But the thought with a direct mail piece like this is that somebody will actually read it because it's interesting content, and then they'll associate it with that realtor. And then the call to action is very soft, right? It's just reminding them that this person is here, right? And that's where that consistent branding is so important.
Yeah.
You never know when that need is going to arise where somebody wants to buy a home or sell a home.
Right. Well, I mean, that's also like, it brings up one of the values of direct mail in general, especially for these small local businesses, is being able to have something memorable that they put aside. Mm-hmm. I always talk about, because I do it, which is put stuff on my fridge.
Yes, exactly.
Whether it's, the local pizza shop or a real estate agent or a local car place, and you just put it up there for maybe a week, 2 weeks, until you remember that you have to get an oil change or some other task accomplished, and there it is right there where you see it several times a day.
Well, it's the power of the bee pile, mm-hmm. right? Somebody puts something aside, they have to keep going back to it, right? And something that you maybe mailed in September sits there till November, December, and then is picked up when the need arises. In the digital age, unless you've been to the website and they're tracking you, you don't know if you're going to be able to grab it at that right opportunity. The way that if somebody's classified in their mind, I have something sitting over there that I've been holding on to, and I think I need it now. Yeah,
perfect. And you mentioned postcards. Are you finding that mailers are using larger postcards now compared to what they were using before?
It seems like a lot of people are doing the larger format to take advantage of every door direct mail. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great strategy depending on what you're selling, right? And are you selling something that works for saturating in a neighborhood, or are you do you need to be not using every door direct mail? I find that postcards have probably the lower of the response rates that we see. I would always suggest somebody go with a self-mailer over a postcard.
Okay. Are there, is there a specific size you would recommend using?
Well, I think to take advantage of the letter rate, postage rates, mm-hmm. You can go up to that 6x11 finished size. Okay. The more real estate that you can get on that direct mail format, the better. Mm-hmm. I think we have a product that's an 11x17 that folds down. It's a really nice, big mailer, but not everybody needs that much real estate. It really, again, depends on what are you selling and what's the message you're trying to get across.
Right, exactly. So mailers have had 2 postage increases this year. We know that, there's going to be more on the horizon. There's supply issues with paper that's been a challenge, throughout the year, that's slowly easing. So what are some good ways to keep costs under control from your point of view?
I think it all goes down to the data. Again, like we were discussing previously, you have to look at who you're mailing. And you want to make sure that you're mailing the most relevant prospects. So, I mean, really, when it's a cost game, all you can do is reduce quantity to offset the price increase if your budget doesn't warrant spending more.
And segmentation and personalization as well?
Absolutely. But leveraging the data, right, to create more targeted pieces and enhancing them with the variable data that will help increase the response rate.
So overall speaking, what would you say is the, drawing on your years of experience with the company, what is the best value proposition for direct mail? Why does it still work today?
Well, I think now more than ever, it's more difficult to create a tangible, tactile interaction with a prospect, right? People do most of their shopping online. There's not as many opportunities for face-to-face contact. What I think is special about direct mail over other marketing formats is that it is that real world, hold it in my hands experience. We're all getting how many emails a day, right? I think I'm averaging like 350 right now. And then combat that with all of the ads that are getting served up. And it's just a constant part of my day is just delete, right? When you go home and you get your mail and you sit down and you sort it,
right?
It's tactile processing, right? And even if you decide that this isn't for me, I'm going to throw it in the trash or recycling bin now, you still have to take it, walk it, and dispose of it. It's very different than click, click. So I think that when you look at the impact of that from a branding perspective, as a marketer, you're trying to see how many touch points can I get, right? Well, it's not just about how many, it's also about the quality, right? And the quality of a direct mail touch point is higher in this digital world that we live in today.
Yeah, I agree. I think, for especially a lot of local businesses, to use that is really pretty huge because national brands, they're mailing, they're emailing or they're serving up ads which are in the thousands at any one time or millions even over the course of a year. But for direct mail, you can make a real impact as a local or regional mailer with something as simple as, like you said, a folded self-mailer or a postcard.
Exactly.
So wrapping up, what kind of trends do you think are going to unfold in direct mail in the coming year?
I think that, to speak off what you're saying and being able to make that impact, I think getting better at that is where this industry will continue to head, especially as the postage rates go up. I think being able to time your mail so that when somebody's having an online experience and then very shortly after you're able to reach them at the right time with maybe a more personalized or more standout direct mail piece as opposed to the acquisition mail. I think that that's where we'll see direct mail will grow.
Okay.
That's where we're going to focus our efforts on as a company.
Okay, cool. And that sort of ties into all the work you've done with redesigning the website and all the new functionality with it.
Yeah, we're trying to help you connect with the right people at the right time.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good place to stop for today. Thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
How can folks get in touch with the company or perhaps you personally to talk about collaborating on a campaign?
Well, my email is bb@themailworks.com. So I'm in my email all day, every day. Like I told you, click. And if somebody's interested really in starting a campaign or having an existing campaign looked at for, suggested improvements or modifications, the best way to work with us would be to reach out and book a call with one of our solution specialists. And what they do is they can work through, see what you're doing or what you want to do and put together a proposal.
And what you should be doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much. It was great talking with you. And thank you all out there for joining us today. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the box below. Show your support by tapping the like button and click on subscribe to be notified of new videos. If you're interested in being featured in a future Meet the Mailers, I want to hear from you. My contact info can be found in the paragraph below. Just tap Show More. Thanks again for watching Meet the Mailers, and see you next time.